Hello everyone, and welcome to Geopolitical Trends, where truth matters. Are NATO and the EU going global? The answer, well, where you stand depends on where you sit. That will be the answer for something like that. In this brief analysis, I delve into the historical context and the current geopolitical dynamics that could and will shape the future of our planet. The global political landscape is witnessing a profound transformation with significant implications for international security and stability. In an article by a Russian writer by the name Sergei Mankin, which was published on Al Jazeera, Sergei explores the impact of Western policies and the potential emergence of a new world order. His views are not far from mine, as one who wrote extensively on international security and geopolitics. So let me provide you a historical context about the end of Western hegemony, shall we? The concept of Western hegemony has its roots in the post-World War II era, when the United States and its allies established a global order centered around the so-called democratic values, free market, and international cooperation. Institutions such as the United Nations, NATO, and the Bretton Woods systems were created not only to promote stability and prosperity, but also to ensure the dominance of the West, mainly the United States, over the global order. However, this order has faced numerous challenges over decades, from the Cold War to the rise of emerging powers. And here is what's going on about the decline of Western influence. Like Sergei, I have argued for the last few years that the current policies of the Western powers, mainly the United States, are destabilizing global security and pushing the world towards a potential open conflict, including the risk of a nuclear war with Russia and China. This perspective is rooted in several key developments. 1. NATO's expansion. Since the end of the Cold War, NATO has expanded its membership to include several former Soviet states. This expansion has been viewed by Russia as a direct threat to its security, leading to increased tensions between Russia and the West. A similar pattern is now emerging as NATO and the EU wants to expand to Asia. This leads me to ask the key question: is the South China Sea a security challenge or a potential conflict zone? With both NATO and EU air and sea drills taking place in South China Sea's backyard, tensions are on the rise, leading me to believe that the probability of Asia becoming the next conflict theater is high. 2. Economic sanctions. In response to various geopolitical conflicts, the United States, and the West for that matter, has imposed economic sanctions on Russia. While these sanctions aim to pressure the Russian government, they also contributed to economic instability and heightened geopolitical tensions. Yet, the West did not factor in its ill-conceived policies the emergence of a new system that will eventually become alternative and bypass the US-West sanctions altogether. Number 3, military intervention. Western military interventions in regions such as West Asia and Africa have often resulted in prolonged conflicts and humanitarian crises. These actions have been criticized for undermining global stability and eroding the legitimacy of international institutions. So the possibility of the new world order, what will be consisted of? As argued in my Russia book, The Dynamics of Russia's Geopolitics, Remaking the Global Order, the possibility of Russia-China alliance could provide both countries the right platform on which to further their cooperation on all fronts, including the military. There is no certainty about what the global geopolitical landscape might look like in the next decade or so. With certainty, however, one can conclude that the Russia-China alliance will further contribute to a precipitous shift in the global order and further decline US share of global power. One thing is sure, the shift in the global balance of power is already underway. I ask, what elements this potential new world order may include? Well, let's look first at multipolarity. The rise of China and other emerging powers have shifted the global balance of power. A multipolar world order would recognize the influence of these nations and promote a more balanced and just distribution of power. I am reminded of what the late US Secretary of State Henry Kissinger predicted in his 1994 book. He wrote about the new multipolar era, the certainty of it. Look no further at the rise of China on a steady march since the end of the 90s. A quarter of a century ago, China prospects for becoming a serious rival to Washington were unclear. Now, the Beijing-Washington rivalry is a foregone conclusion. 2. Regional cooperation. Strengthening regional alliances and organizations could enhance stability and foster cooperation on shared challenges such as poverty, inequality, debt, and economic development. BRICS, ASEAN, SCO are a case in point. 3. Reformed international institution. Undating the structure and mandates of international institutions like the United Nations could ensure that they are more representative and elective in addressing global issues instead of having a single country or countries controlling the process and the outcome. Then comes the role of Russia in the big picture. Russia's role in this evolving landscape is pivotal. As major global power with significant military and to a degree economic capabilities, Russia's actions and policies will shape the future of international relations. Key aspects of Russia's strategy includes 1. Strategic alliances. Russia has been building alliances with countries such as China and India, Vietnam, seeking to create a counterbalance to Western influence. These partnerships are based on mutual interests and a shared vision of a multipolar world. 2. Energy diplomacy. Russia's vast energy resources gives it significant leverage in global markets. By developing alternative energy routes and strengthening ties with energy importing countries, Russia aims to reduce its dependency on Western markets and enhance its strategic position. And number 3, military modernization. Russia has been investing in modernizing its military capabilities, ensuring that it can defend its interests and deter potential aggressors. This includes the development of advanced weapon systems such as hypersonic missiles and the enhancement of its cyber warfare capabilities. It is my belief, and given the ever-changing geopolitical landscape and dynamics, Washington and Brussels should not be too confident in their ability to coexist with Russia in Eurasia, for example, assuming that Russia will cooperate and together sing Kumbaya. That's wishful thinking in a global order that Russia seems to be turning upside down. Then what about China? Well, China's role in the new global order is characterized by its ascendance in the global hierarchy. China is promoting cooperation among major powers, addressing global hotspot issues, enhancing global governance, and accelerating global economic growth. China is in the process of surpassing the United States economically. China is also leading the largest urbanization and infrastructure development schemes on the earth. And let's not forget how China is setting the global pace on a digital economy, including cashless payments. Chinese universities are also volleying to the top of the international ranking. Then comes the challenges and opportunities of this new order, because there will be some. The transition to the new world order will not be without challenges. Potential obstacles include 1. Geopolitical rivalries. As argued in my previous writing, the competition between major powers could lead to increased tensions and conflicts. Effective diplomacy and conflict resolution mechanisms will be essential to manage these rivalries. 2. Economic disparities. Addressing global economic inequalities will be crucial for achieving sustainable development and stability. International cooperation on trade, for example, investment and development assistance will be vital. And number 3, cultural differences. Promoting mutual understanding and respect among diverse cultures and civilizations will be important for fostering global harmony. Educational exchanges, for example, cultural diplomacy, and inclusive policies can play a significant role. Here is my conclusion, because I always like to keep this brief analysis concise and short, of course. The current geopolitical landscape is marked by significant shifts and uncertainties. The failed policies of Western powers are, in my opinion, contributing to not only a reconfiguration of global power dynamics, but also increasing tensions. Recognizing the end of Western hegemony and embracing the possibilities of a multipolar world order could pave the way for a more stable and equitable international system. As nations navigate this complex transition, because it is, collaboration, dialogue, and a commitment to shared values will be essential for building a peaceful and prosperous world. If you like this video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. As always, remember, geopolitics impact your daily life in more ways than one. Till next time, thank you.